Hello everyone and welcome to a quick and dirty Empire of the Skies guide. Since this DLC is adding quite a lot of content, I'm just going to show you real quick of what new stuff you can expect with this DLC, and also we are going to dive quickly into a few of these new mechanics, actually all of these mechanics, and I hope you're going to enjoy this one. Let's get cracking. The first new addition is, of course, the new scenario Clash of Couriers, where you basically play as Paloma Valente and you need to compete against your challengers. You need to play through various challenges from easy to hard to extreme, building up a postal empire. You can once again earn a bronze, silver and gold trophy with this, also some badges that increase your standing in the Grand Gallery, where you can unlock and should unlock new cosmetic items that you can use, portraits you can use, characters you can use, and ship skins that you can use. So this is also something that you definitely should have a look at. If not for gold, at least try to get the silver medal for all of those juicy tickets. Now, in the game itself, we get a whole lot of new additions. The first major new building is the airship platform. This is a new building that you can build in the new world and in the old world, and you can build well, basically as many as you like. For every island you can build one of them. Just make sure that you do have a bit of space around them. So like here we have it right now in Careful City. We do have a basic platform available right now with modules. So these basic platforms here are the docking points of your new airships. We got 5 new types of airships there as well that I'm going to show in a second. And these here will basically now deliver letters back and forth between my cities. So as we can see, for example, here, this one is delivering local mail right now, this airship here. For example, we do have beside local mail then the regional mail and the overseas mail. Now, each one of these platforms here is acting as a hub, more or less, for all your airship transportation, and it has 3 available modules there as well. The first one is the airmail sorting office. This one is where all the central letters are coming in, where you can store them, and in that case here, all 3 types are being then also displayed their storage here. You need to have this module here to enable postal transportation between your islands. The second module is something that we already know. It's the commuter station. So it's just like the commuter pier, it makes a sharing workforce possible between your islands. So for example, in Careful City, I do have the commuter station, and in River of Stars, I do have a commuter station. And that basically now means that both of these islands share their workforce. As we can see, the workforce pool is turning blue. This means that it's shared now between the 2 of them. And we can also just see the islands balance then between the 2 islands of what workforce we have available either way. Last but absolutely not the least is an amazing new feature. It's the item transfer depot. We can build this one just here also beside the airship platform. By the way, these modules need to have a direct connection with the platform or with a module of the platform. And in that case here, this beauty is enabling shared item storage between all of your islands that have this module installed. So for example, as we can see in Careful City, I do have now the Elite Air Gunner and the Rocket Barrage available. And if I go now to River of Stars, I do have the same items here available now too, and I can use them instantly on this island here as well. And the most awesome feature is that in the old world, for example, I also have this item storage and I also have these items available. That means you can now have a shared item storage globally on all your islands. The second most important new building that we get with this DLC is now the hangar, so the airship hangar. This is something we already know from the Passage DLC, so the Arctic airships, and you do have this building now available also in the new world and in the old world, so you can use it on both of these islands here. You can build as many as you like per island, so I'm building a second one here right now. These airship hangars have 4 stages to them and do take quite some time to build, so just start with that as early as possible. Once a phase has been finished, we can start with the next phase, and we do need one of the new resources, aluminium for this, and also some sales and a rare workforce to start with the next phase. Once an airship hangar has been finished, we can access the all 5 new type news airships. It's actually 7 new types of airships that we're going to show in a second. Before we go into the airships and the finishing of the airship hangar, I also want to show the new productions that you need in order to build the hangar and in order to build the airships. One of them is aluminium. That is one of the new materials that you need in the new world and in the old world now. Aluminium basically requires the new bauxite resource deposit. You get these ones now in on your islands, also on existing islands already. So if you start a new an existing safe game with the new DLC, you get these as well, randomly generated on your islands. In this case here, I've got 2 in River of Stars, and we do have this mine now over here. The bauxite is producing bauxite every 10 seconds, so it's very fast, and it can actually supply up to 9 aluminium smelters because they require 90 seconds for one profile. They also need some coal as well that you can produce with the charcoal kiln or with a coal mine. So for example, one bauxite mine then leads to this industrial smelter plant, right? So we can have quite a lot of them as well. Bear in mind, they do require a lot of workforce, 40 obreros for each one of these smelters. So you want to make sure that you do have a large New World city available already. The second important new material that we need for the airships is helium. For helium, well, it's a bit more complicated. Helium is very rare. We do have a helium pocket here in Caval City, and it's the only one that I have on my islands. And in that case here, this one is producing now helium at a rate of 15 seconds, so 4 per minute. Helium, however, requires, for this mine here to work, it's kind of like a factory as well. This one here requires now a clay pit. So luckily we do get a few more clay deposits on the new world, I think, because 5 is something that I haven't seen before, and we do have 5 clay deposits now available. So these produce at a 2 per minute, so they can, you know, 2 of these can support 1 helium extractor already. And the other big one is the industrial oil press that we need, and this is this kind of like plantation. It has trees around it. It needs trees around it. It does require fish oil. That's easy. We do have that in the new world plenty by just building it on the coast. But it also requires saltpeter works, and saltpeter is something you can't get in the new world. So this is a trade route that you need to establish, getting saltpeter from the old world to the new world. You then build the industrial oil press producing industrial lubricants 2 per minute, and this then supplies the helium extractors. You do need 2 of these industrial oil presses to supply one of the helium extractors. Now, once you finally have aluminium and helium available, you can go into the airship business. You can start building airships, and we do have a lot of them available, as we can see. In total, 7 new airship types. Also in addition, of course, to the airship from the Arctic. So in that case here, all of them require aluminium profiles that we have now, and all of them also require helium. Beside that, they have a varying amount of resources they need. Some of them only need sails, others need steam motors, others need weapons in addition. So it's a bit different there for all of them. We start with the lowest type, that is the Harpy. It is the smallest out of the airships and also the fastest. The Harpy has 2 cargo slots available and is very good for fast transportation. You can use it for your postal services, but you can also use it for item transportation, of course, or resource transportation. It is very fast also to transit between the old and the new world, but bear in mind it has a very low amount of hit points, so that it means it can get destroyed rather quickly. The second airship is the Manticore. It's more spacious than its light counterpart. This heavy version of the rapid airship can make sizable deliveries at speed. The Manticore looks rather pointy, as we can see here, and the Manticore is available in 2 versions. The first one is the unarmed version, and here we do see the armed version of the Manticore. It has turrets on the lower end and on the top of it, and can fire at ships and other airships alike to fight beside your fleet. The same applies, of course, for the Harpy armed airship as well. So this one here is like the Harpy, but has some turrets on board as well. These armed versions, the Manticore and the Harpy, require weapons in addition to the other resources. Next up, we got Hermes, a tier 3 airship, the smallest of the cargo airships. This craft prioritizes speed over hold space. It has more hit points than the Harpy. It is a bit slower than the Harpy, but it has 3 cargo slots available. Hermes looks like it is a reinforced airship because it has this plated outing or this plated skin around it. However, it can go down very quickly, as I've seen in my scenario playthrough. The next tier is a Pegasus, an attractive compromise between speed and cargo capacities. This mid-sized craft is an ideal addition to any trading fleet. It has 5 cargo slots available, 2,800 hit points, and can travel up to 30 knots. So it's a pretty good compromise between the smaller and faster airships and the biggest that we have, Zephyr. Also, Pegasus looks really elegant. I like this airship a lot, and I'm probably going to use this one for my transportation. And this finally brings us to the largest airship ever constructed. This behemoth lacks in speed, it makes up for cargo space, the Zephyr. 26 knots maximal sail speed, it has 3,500 hit points and a whopping 8 cargo slots available. It doesn't only look big on paper, it is really huge in the game itself as well. It has 4 whopping turbines, a lot of cargo space available as well, as we can see, and you could really use this for mass transportation of goods. I wouldn't use this one for the postal service, I would use it for transportation of rum or coffee, something you need in high volumes, going back and forth between your worlds. Beside the addition of the airships, we get 2 new ships and 3 new harbor turrets. Let's start with the 2 new ships. These are monitor class ships. The first one is a flamethrower. This is very strong against any wooden ships, so ship of the lines and frigates that you can use. And the second one is an upgraded monitor. It's the flag monitor, and this one has a flag cannon on board and is very strong against airships. And then we have the 3 new harbor guns available to us. The first one is the flamethrower, so it's like the monitors. This is good against wooden ships. We get the flag emplacement, very good against airships, so we definitely will need to have these now here in the harbor defense, and just in case the AI uses airships too, which they do. And then we do have the anti-armor gun. This one is firing armor-piercing rounds and very good against steamships. So I can't wait to use this one finally against, for example, the battleship or the dreadnought. Beside the addition of airships, ships and harbor defenses, we get the new lifestyle needs, and they're a whole new, and it's not only affecting the DLC items but old items as well. Let's just quickly dive into this one. Lifestyle needs are now a new tab that we have here. Beside the needs and the happiness, we do have now the lifestyle needs. It's affecting all the tiers, and all the tiers require different goods. Lifestyle needs open up the communications. That is now for all the tiers the same. So this is the all new communications need, that is the mail that I'm going to look into right after this one here. And then we got the food and drinks here for the farmers, for example, flour, sugar and jam they would like. For each one of them, if this is supplied, the population of this type is going up, also their income or their tax paying, right? So coin and population is going up. The workers, for example, beside communication, would like to have some rum, some hot sauce and some wealth, and each one of them gives me a different bonuses, like more population per house and also more coin per house. The artisans require in addition then wool and clay. The engineers require in addition chocolate, soap and shampoo, and the investors only one thing, and that's the furs. And for every one of these goods being supplied, we get a whopping 5 investors and 2 coin per building. However, the biggest new and most complicated addition probably is the ladder system. Let's have a quick look into that. With the addition of this DLC, you get a new building or 2 new buildings available, unlocking with the artisans. This is the post office and the post box. You will need these here, so building a post office has a radius around it and it will affect all the residences in this radius. What it does then is it's producing letters, and that's really it. Local mail. Local mail, funnily enough, while it's being produced, is also something that we consume right away if we want to. By default it's turned off. You can turn it on, local mail supply, and this one is providing your population right away with 4 engineers and 18 coins per building, for example, with the engineers, which is a pretty steep increase. So just by building the post office, you can already boost your population quite a bit by enabling the local mail. However, it doesn't stop there, and you should not be happy with the local mail, because we got the regional mail as well. For the regional mail, let's quickly jump to the New World, because not only do the Old World population want these letters, but your New World population wants them too. The jornaleros would like work clothes and felt beside the communication, and the obreros would like glasses and typewriters in addition. Now, besides these, we have the local mail here as well. You also have the post office and the postal box available in the New World. Once again, they have a radius and affect all the people living close to it. They will then produce the local mail that you can unlock for your people. However, any surplus from that is then being stored in your airmail sorting office. There we have it, local mail. For River of Stars, for example, right now it is full. Now think about, you have several of these cities. For example, I've got 2 bigger cities in the New World, and I've got my Old World cities, of course. Now what happens is the surplus of this local mail can be transported to the other cities. You can make a new trade route for this, the airship routes. And these airship routes will affect then the airship platforms and traverse between the islands. Right now I've got 2 of these available here, and one of these airships right now is docking at River of Stars. It has just delivered 8 tons of local mail from Careful City, and it is now picking up 50 local mail from River of Stars. So this is the surplus that we have here, right? So as we can see, it is now these 50 tons that we just locked into the airship. And what happens now is the airship is transporting the local mail from River of Stars to Careful City. However, the moment it docks here, this local mail is no longer local mail. It is then being turned into regional mail, because think of it, there you go, 50 tons in addition. This is the mail from River of Stars, and it is not local anymore, because local only affects the island. It is regional now, so it upgraded 1 step, and that is now really good for us, because a regional mail is way more worth than the local mail. So for example, we have it here for the obreros. We would get 2 coin out of the local mail, but we would get 5 coin out of the regional mail. So if we unlock this one for my population, I get a bigger population and a more tax paying population, that is. So you definitely want to have the regional mail unlocked. This is why I turned down the local mail, because we would consume local mail then on this island too. That means we would have less regional mail, because I cannot transport that much local mail anymore. Of course, this system can also be applied to the Old World, where you have several islands, several cities available in the Old World, and they transport local and regional mail between the islands. However, there is a 3rd tier, and that is the most important tier, especially for your main city, and that is the overseas mail. So let's just click on that. Right now I've got 0 overseas mail here available, so we're just going to wait for the next airship. And there it is, Hermes right now delivering the local mail from River of Stars with the which has now upgraded to overseas mail, because we have transported it into the New World and the Old World. It is now docking in Madison, and there we have it already. Overseas mail is being then stored in here, and overseas mail is the 3rd tier and highest tier, and especially in the Old World, especially with investors, it has a huge bonus. 25 additional investors per building and 125 coin in addition per building for this mail. This actually led to a smaller city like Madison here, which is a smaller city in comparison to Crown Falls, of 35,000 on the balance in addition once the overseas mail have been unlocked. This is really massive. You should use this new system for sure. It is optional, but you should use it to gain these massive boosts, especially also for population. These also affect skyscrapers, of course. Now, as we can see, Hermes is transporting now the local mail then back to River of Stars. Over there, it's then going to be turned into overseas mail as well. We do have a lot of storage here in Madison, and that is also one thing to note, that every post office that you have is increasing your mail storage by 65 tons, right? So you do need to have the post offices to build this one. Now, beside all these new additions, we also have new item types available. So not only the consumer goods, but new item types are available as well. The drop items. The drop items are being produced in factories, in new multi-factories that we have now in the New World and in the Old World. And these basically now introduce 5 new drop items. The bombs, the sea mines, the pamphlets, the care packages, and the water drop. Each one of them requires different goods to produce. The bombs, for example, require saltpeter, dynamite, and steel. The sea mines require copper, dynamite, and steel. The pamphlet requires wood and cotton. The care package requires canned food, chocolate, and schnapps. And the water drop requires water. Now, what do these drop items mean actually? We do have 50 tons of bombs now in Hermes, and drop items, as the name suggests, can be dropped from an airship. Now, we have 50 tons in stock in Hermes, and there is also something else that we need to watch out when we press this button now. So plan, drop, run. This button is now available since we have drop items on board, and I can now drop these items. For example, for bombs, I can drop them on military buildings, of course, will do a lot of damage. Either a single drop with one shaft, or evenly distributed, a carpet bombing more or less with all shafts available. I can now select the drop location, and the airship will then get to this location and drop these bombs accordingly. Pretty impressive, right? Now, well, these bombs go in different speeds though. Every one of these airships has several drop shafts available. The smallest one is the Harbour with 3, and the biggest one is the Sapphire with 5 shafts. That basically means how fast they can drop all of these bombs. And the Sapphire, of course, is the ultimate bomber airship for this. So the bombs we've just seen, the sea mines, they plant sea mines in the ocean, so especially useful close to your harbor that you can defend yourself, so any ship that passes through will get damaged. The pamphlets will cause discontent over your rival cities, so you can drop this over cities, and it will cause discontent and riots in this case. The care package has the opposite effect, it will cause happiness for your population where you drop it, and the water drop can be dropped over fire to extinguish any flames. In addition to all of that, we get some quality of life features as always. One of them is now that we can see immediately if we have an item available already by this tiny symbol here showing a crate. That means we have this item somewhere on our islands already. Another addition is the all new building menu for our shipyards. So both of the shipyards, the normal one and the steam shipyard, have now new symbols, a new structure, and show more information at a glance. And one of the most important quality of life features that I like especially, you will now not get dragged into a war with your allies anymore. If you are having an alliance with one of the other players and they go to war with the pirate, for example, up to this point it always meant automatic war with the pirate, thus losing all of your reputation at once with them. Now you get a message that states if you want to join the war against a said player. You can decline, the alliance will automatically be broken, but that's it. No other big penalties follow this. Finally, it is worth it anymore going to alliances with someone. So this is Empire of the Skies DLC. I hope I can help you with this small overview of what to expect with this one. Along all of the changes and additions that I've just shown, we get of course the amazing views of airships now going back and forth between your islands of varying sizes. And of course also we get a few more ornaments that you can see right here that complement all the airship platforms, making them a bit more looking like airports, to be honest, with the arrivals and departures as well. I can't wait to use all of these new additions in a full new playthrough with our Megacity edition. Stay tuned.